Welcome to the SANFL Coach at Training program. The SANFL Coaching Department and your local zone coach developers are available to work with junior and youth coaches at your junior club. We discuss topics like the Club Coaching Handbook and introduce our SANFL top tips for coaching juniors and youth teams.
My best coaching tip is AFL, and it's an acronym for Active Fun Learning. Active means keeping kids active, no long lines. If you've got a line, maybe 2 or 3 people at the max. The next part is fun. You are even the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer of your footy team. Which means bring a smile, bring those high fives, bring the energy that kids love to feed off. Then there's learning. Kids love to learn a new skill, but keep it simple. Less is more, maybe 1 to 2 bits of gold each week. One of the hardest skills to teach in footy is kicking the ball. It's why we use the face footy method. It's fun, it's simple, and really engaging for kids. So the way we do it is, we put our hands on the side of the ball so we cover the ears. This gives us a lot of control for the ball so we can hit our foot properly. We point the nose at our target because we want to hit our target, and that gives us the best chance to. And the last and most important bit is we've got to kick the chin because that makes the ball spin properly and a bit easier to mark for your teammate at the other end. Once we started nailing that, it's important to teach movement and momentum. So when kids are coming through in a game of footy, you want to teach them to be really balanced. So we want to line up our target with the nose, run towards that target and kick the chin so we can hit our teammate right out in front. Here's a couple of great kicking activities that you can use at training. Challenge kick. Pairs attempt to get as many kicks as possible to each other, running to a different free cone after each kick. Only one player can bear the cone at once. Keepy off. Attackers attempt to kick to each other without the defender intercepting the ball. No marks are awarded to encourage quick decision making and kicking. Pressure kicking. The 4 attacking players attempt to successfully kick the football away from the 2 defenders in the middle. Kickers can move anywhere along their side of the square to receive the ball. No marks awarded to practice quick execution and decision making. Defenders can provide full tackle pressure. Directional kicking. 4v2 with a target player at each end. The attacking team attempt to get the ball to their target player with only kicking. Then to the attacking player at the other end, switching directions each time. Kicking in pairs is a great way to get lots of touches and to hone your skills at training, but it can be boring at times. So here's some great ways to get lots of touches whilst keeping it really fun. Passing the ball around their waist or figure 8s before kicking. Yes! Kick through goals. Players set up a set of goals using 2 cones, roughly 2 metres apart either side of them. Players get 1 point each time they kick it through their partner's goals. Magic marks. Players get 1 point for a chest mark, 2 points for a mark in their hands, 5 points for a one-hander, and 10 points for catching it behind their back. 1v1 marking contest at each end. Then once the ball is won, players practice kicking over the player on the mark. Find your partner. Players face the other way while their partner finds a new space. On the coach's whistle, players turn around and race to kick successfully to their partner. Go, check, find your partner. Marking is an important skill and helps your team keep possession of the ball. Here are a few simple cues. For a chest mark, you want your elbows in nice and tight so the ball doesn't fall through, and you want to hug that ball to your chest. Overhead marks. Like everything, we want to keep our eye on the ball. Secondly, we want to make sure we're moving our feet to make sure the ball's in line with our body. This is going to give us the best chance of taking a strong mark out in front and not out to either side. And lastly, I want you to make a W with your thumbs. This is going to give us a great chance to wrap up that footy and take a strong mark when you need to. To add a layer to marking, in contested situations, you want that leg closest to your opponent up to protect you from opposition players. If we don't do that and lead with the other leg, we expose ourselves to injury and a knock down the middle. We know in footy, the ball spends the majority of time on the ground, so it's important to have really sound ground ball technique, not only to protect yourself, but to be able to take that ball nice and cleanly. There are 3 simple steps for a ground ball technique. Firstly, we want our eyes on the footy. It's going to give you the best chance of taking that ball. Secondly, we want to get our feet in nice and close, because if we're too far away, we're going to be reaching for that ball, and we're not going to be able to take it cleanly. And lastly, once your feet are in close, you need to be down low and fingernails in the dirt. This is going to allow us to scoop the ball up to be able to charge off. The next layer of ground ball is protection from the opposition. Why is this important? If we were to lead with our head and take the ground ball, we open ourselves up to concussion or maybe even a head knock. So how do we do it? Again, eyes on the ball. We step over the ball, bum to our opposition. That's a really strong part to keep the opposition away. We get down low and take that ball. Using the correct tackle technique not only helps you tackle well, but it also ensures that the player being tackled and the tackler stay nice and safe and injury-free. So here are a few cues for the perfect tackle. Firstly, we want our foot in the hoop. This is going to get me nice and close to the opposition player. Secondly, we want hip on hip. Close that gap down between you and your opponent, because thirdly, it's going to allow you to wrap them up nice and tight, give them a good squeeze, avoid dragging them to ground, and you're going to have a nice and effective tackle. If we don't have our foot in the hoop and we don't have hip on hip, I'm going to be reaching for a shirt, which is going to allow Nick to shrug me and break that tackle. Here's a couple of great tackling activities that you can use at training. Pairs tackle technique. In pairs, roughly 3 metres apart, one player handballs to the other player and then runs to tackle them, concentrating on the correct tackling technique. This activity is about practicing tackling and being tackled, so the person being tackled can't try to evade the tackle. Tackle square. Within a small square, the coach throws a ball to one of the players, who attempts to run through the opposite side of the square, while the other player attempts to tackle them within the square. Here's a couple of really simple handball activities that you can use at training. Challenge handball. Pairs attempt to get as many handballs as possible to each other, running to a different free cone after each handball. Only one player can be at a cone at once. 3v1 handball. 2 attackers attempt to handball to each other without the defender intercepting the ball, trying to create clear passing lanes away from the defender. Contest clearance. 3v3 around coach with a target player for each team 10 metres away. Coach rolls a ground ball down randomly to start the activity. Players work together to get the ball to their target player. Player who gets the ball to the target player replaces them. Contest to goal. Goals 30 to 50 metres apart. Players start behind scattered cones. Coach starts with the ball and drops it in randomly. Once the ball hits the ground, the players can leave their cones to win the ball and work together as a team to score a goal. Reset after each goal or after a stoppage or held ball. My best coaching tip is AFL, and it's an acronym for Active Fun Learning. Active means keeping kids active. No long lines. If you've got a line, maybe 2 or 3 people at the max. The next part is fun. You are even the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer of your footy team. Which means bring a smile, bring those high fives, bring the energy that kids love to feed off. Then there's learning. Kids love to learn a new skill, but keep it simple. Less is more, maybe 1 to 2 bits of gold each week.
Finally, we discuss the excellent successes in coach behaviour right across the league. We encourage coaches to be seated and to always be aware of the important role we have in the community, to encourage sportsmanship, respect for umpires, officials, opponents and each other. Throughout the year, we're available to support coaches at training, either one-on-one or in small groups. Please feel free to contact your local zone coach developer, and in conjunction with your club coach coordinator, we hope to see you soon.